Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez are once again at the center of a heated wave of speculation after fans became convinced that Hailey subtly threw shade at Selena, and Selena responded in her own quiet but powerful way. It all started when Hailey appeared in a recent interview where she spoke about not feeling competitive with people I'm not, inspired by a line that immediately set the internet on fire because many interpreted it as a not-so-hidden jab directed toward Selena. Supporters of Selena argued that Hailey wasn't simply speaking in general terms, but was referencing an ongoing history of comparison and tension that has trailed both women for years. The moment those words circulated across social media, fans began combing through each woman's posts, looking for context, reactions, and any little detail that could confirm whether or not this was an intentional dig. Right on cue, Selena posted a soft but pointed message that many took as a direct clapback, a reminder that she chooses kindness and authenticity over negativity and will not engage in petty back-and-forth drama. Even though she never mentioned Hailey by name, the timing of her post sparked massive conversation online because it felt like her way of answering the shade without stepping into a public fight. As the situation spread, fans broke into groups defending their favorite, repeating the same cycle that has surrounded the two women for years. One group insisting Hailey feels threatened by Selena's global support, and the other saying Selena's fan base reads too deeply into every small action. Still, the reason this moment blew up so quickly is the long, complicated history people believe exists between them, tied not just to their own identities, but to the ongoing emotional connection many fans still associate with Selena and Justin Bieber. For some, every interaction is a symbol of unresolved history, and for others, it's simply evidence that the online world cannot let either woman live peacefully without comparison. While Hailey tried to move forward with a polished confidence, critics accused her of constantly sending indirect messages instead of being straightforward. And while Selena stays publicly committed to emotional growth and mental health, she continues to get pulled back into narratives she never asked for, simply because people refuse to separate her from her past relationship storylines. The comment Hailey made might seem subtle on the surface, but in a culture where every word is clipped, reposted, and dissected, there is no such thing as a small statement, especially when it gets linked to a long, simmering feud. Immediately after Selena's soft clapback, people began praising her for having the high road energy, while others insisted that her post, no matter how graceful, was still a response that kept the conversation alive. What's interesting is that both women often say they want peace, yet the internet keeps them trapped in a rivalry that never fully fades, because fans refuse to let the storyline go. Every picture, every caption, every subtle tone shift becomes evidence in an imaginary trial staged by social media, which has positioned them as permanent foils to each other. At the same time, Hailey is constantly navigating the pressure of being compared to someone connected to her husband's past. And Selena faces the constant burden of being treated like a symbol, even when she just wants to be seen as her own person. This ongoing spotlight turns harmless statements into viral debates, and small reflections into accusations of shade, which is why this newest flare-up exploded across TikTok, Instagram fan pages, and commentary channels within hours. People don't just watch these two women. They interpret them, judge them, decode them, and project their own emotions onto them. Selena's quiet response also struck a chord because her message reminded fans that staying kind isn't the same as staying silent, and that not all reactions need to be defensive or confrontational. It signaled that sometimes the strongest clapback is choosing to show emotional maturity when others expect drama. Meanwhile, Hailey's original statement continues to be replayed and analyzed, with some defending it as general confidence and others labeling it a targeted swipe. Whether Hailey meant it in that way or not, the deeper issue is how quick the public is to look for tension, because a calm story doesn't travel as fast as a feud on the internet. This entire moment has turned into yet another cultural showcase of how celebrity narratives are shaped not just by what is said, but by how millions of strangers choose to interpret it. Fans are not only watching, They are participating, amplifying, defending, attacking, editing clips, stitching reactions, and feeding the drama they claim to hate. And while both women have tried repeatedly to step out of each other's shadows, the rivalry has become almost bigger than them, living on as part of online pop culture mythology. What makes this specific exchange stand out is that it captures the emotional fatigue of being constantly watched and constantly compared, where even an indirect quote can reignite global debate. Whether or not Hailey intended to shade Selena, and whether or not Selena truly meant to clap back, the world heard it that way. And once the internet decides there's smoke, it doesn't take long before people start yelling fire. For now, both women continue with their careers and public lives. But the conversation surrounding them proves that fame in the age of social media is less about what you do and more about what people think you meant. And every sigh, silence, and subtweet becomes a headline waiting to happen.